Ready? Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Sadvatam savadhutam Parijana sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya Toanvayaditaratas Chartha Subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yat Surayah Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimaya Yatra Trisargo Amrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Swasti Astu Vishwasya Khalaha Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhiya Manasya Bhadram Bhajata Dhokshaje Aveshatam No Matirapya Hetuki. The reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, verse number 41. So in the previous verses we studied that people who are born in other yugas, they also want to take birth in Kali Yuga. So Kala Uchanti Sambhavam. Why? Yatra Sankirtanenaiva Svarasartha Vilambhyate. Because you can attain perfection simply by doing kirtan. In other yugas you have to perform various difficult processes to attain perfection, but in this yuga, merely by kirtan, nam japa, you can attain perfection. And then he spoke that there are many great devotees present in South. So although there are devotees all over, but he says that specifically Dravideshu cha Bhurisha, but in more numbers in South. And all these devotees are devotees of Bhagwan. Prayo Bhakta Bhagavati Vasudeva Amlashaya. Now in this
studied that in the Satya Yuga, the Lord is worshipped through tapasa, and then in the Treta Yuga by the Brahmavadina, by the Brahmavadis, by the Vedas, and then in the Treta by the combination of
Dwapar.
in Dwapar by the combination of Tantra and Vedas, and in the in the Kali Yuga only by the Tantras primarily. So could you please show the significance of this? Iska significance kya? Because we have been studying that Vedas are eternal. I mean, they're always present. So sometimes predominantly sometimes Vedas are not there in the Satyug, only by tapasa, and then Brahmavadina, the word he's using only in Treta, and then mixture of Amnaya and Vedas in Dwapar, and then predominantly by Tantra in Kali Yuga.
So the Vedas primarily they propagate yajna. Okay, Krishna also said that in the beginning, what is that? Sahapraja. What is that? Sahapraja. The third chapter verse is that. Sahayagya Praja Srishta. That in the beginning, the Praja was created along with the yajna. So yajna is prominent teaching of the Veda. If you study Veda, Veda means Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyak, Upanishad. So predominant, the major part of the Veda is dealing with the yajna. We already discussed that in the beginning of creation, there was not much facilities available. And people were very restrained in their habits. Control mind, control senses. So they followed meditation. Tapsa means meditation. Even Brahma did that. Then as time passed and people became more settled, and they were also not as controlled as in Satyuga, then yajna came. Sahayagya Prajasista Provacha Prajapati Anena Prasuddhamasa Vastu Ishta Kamadhuk. Means now their desire became more prominent than Satyuga, so then yajna was more prominent. Veda was there in Satyuga also, but they did not have any desires. And since we already said that Parokshvado Vedoyam Balanam Anusasanam Karma Mokshaya Karmani Vidhatte Yagdoyata, that it gives you injunction to perform karma so that you can become free from karma. But these people were not interested in karma to begin with.
When we say that they were not interested to do karma, we're talking about the predominant population, not everyone.
So
right?
in Satyuga it is said that everybody was like that.
But then what about the histories of Prithu Maharaj and others?
But how do you know that they are in Satyuga? You are assuming they are Satyuga, as we said, there was no such kingdoms or anything like that. Prithu Maharaj is the one who started farming. That came much later. Historically also, modern history also says that.
This Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were at least in Satyuga. Hiranyakashipu his kingdom was at least in Satyug. The pastime of Prahlad Maharaj.
So Hiranyakashipu also did tapasya. He was not doing yajna. He also went for tapasya.
But it's mentioned that he, जो ब्राह्मणों की अग्नि थी, he used to, he used to destroy it.
Yeah, so some people may be doing. You see, again, another thing we have to understand is, this is what we forget. If you take that time span of Satyuga, it is some 43 lakh years. Right? Alright, I think that's what. So now in that, obviously as time is coming down to Treta Yuga, then things are changing. So in the beginning it is one way, in the end, towards the end, it will be more like Treta Yuga.
Right.
So we have to also see that if something is spoken such a big span of life or yuga, then doesn't mean that everything will just remain same.
Right.
So everything is there in every yuga. But in the beginning when people were created, Manu also, there are different stories. Manu said, where is the earth? I don't even see the earth. So where is the question of people doing yajna at that time? Then Varaha came and lifted the earth. Varaha is also symbol of yajna that we studied in the list of the avatars, right? He is called Yajna Murti.
Okay. So in Dwapar it is mentioned that Nana Tantra Vidhanena, it's predominantly by Tantra, and the portion of the Vedas or Traya, Vidya Traya, it becomes less, much less. And in Kali Yuga it is only Sankirtan.
Now you can, that's what I'm saying.
Predominantly Sankirtan.
Where do you see so many yajnas? Where is Somyagya, Samed, all these? Forget. Cannot even dream of those things now. Last Somyaga was performed in Kerala some 40-50 years ago. Krishnadas. Barely.
Okay.
Okay, now I can hear.
Thank you so much. So Babaji, I had one question. Actually, it's more like an understanding that I wanted to double check with you, because in Śrīmad-Bhāgavata, in the Antya Khanda, in the chapter 14, the verse 145 and 146, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speak that the Mahamantra, he give the regulations of the Mahamantra according to Tantra. So I get quite amazed right now that we was studying this part of the Bhāgavatam that express that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or at least this avatar that comes in Kali Yuga, is a tantric or mainly through Tantra, because all of this discussion related to the holy name pass through different filters that I think they are wrong, but only you can clarify, because they speak that according to the Kali Santarana Upanishad and other Shastras, the Mahamantra has to be chant this and this and that, but actually according to Tantra, which will be slightly different, even the order of the mantra is different and everything, have no relation as this group is making the proposal. So I wanted to confirm or to understand what is your point of view on this topic, taking in consideration this study we are taking from Bhagavatam right now.
So what is the Bhagavad verse saying? Can you read?
In Chaitanya Bhagavata it says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is Lokanama, Bali Laya Mahamantra, Sola Nama, Bhatri Saksara, A Tantra.
So Tantra does not mean here Tantra. Tantra has many meanings. Tantra also means discipline. Tantra also means Just like you say Swatantra, Partantra. You heard these words? So Partantra means that you are under another person's control. Swatantra means that you are self-controlled. So that is also what meaning of the third Tantra. Tantra, the word Tantra does not mean just body of literature. Tantra has got many meanings. Just like I said, Tantra also means pun, where one word has two meanings. That is also called Tantra.
Okay, so according to this, the meaning of this particular verse will be that through this discipline.
Yeah, it means he gave this instruction. Tantra here means instruction.
Okay, so it's not related, it's not a different topic from the Kali Sankarana Upanishad, this and that.
Kali Sankarana Upanishad or anything Upanishad, there is no mention here. He just said this is Mahamantra and chant this. He's not referring to any book.
Because I was studying the Urdhvamanya Tantra, they mention, and there are two more tantras that are mentioning indirectly the Mahamantra, and it is said that there is no regulation that you cannot chant in this way or this way. It's open to the people through Diksha, of course, but.
So there are so many tantras. Many of tantras have just been written in few hundred years back. All kinds of tantras are there.
Okay, thank you, Babaji.
His we cannot hear you. You are muted. No sound.
He's unmuted, but his voice is not coming.
Hello?
Yeah, now we can hear.
Okay. Okay, good. Pranam, Babaji.
Again gone. After pranam.
Peep the color of the Yuga avatar. I didn't see it in, how's it in?
Your voice comes and goes.
I'll come back. Sorry, my mic.
Okay. Okay, let's read the verse. So, Devarshi bhutapka nirnam pitrinam naking karo nayam rini charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. So, he's defining some process that is somebody now in Kali Yuga, he said you worship by kirtan. So question may come, what about the general principle that everybody has certain debt? And this is a very important principle of Varnashram system, that everybody is born with some debt. Just like in Christianity they say that everybody is born with some sin, original sin. So here we say that you are born with debt, so you have to do some activities to become free from the debt. So this is a good mentality, means we have to be grateful to things around us. Now in the modern times the tendency is to take everything for granted and everything just meant for me, but I am not meant for anybody else. This is the feeling. So here he says that every human being has certain responsibility towards nature, towards other living beings, towards the higher divinities, towards your own family lineage. So this is what is called Rina. So he says, but if you take shelter of Bhagwan, then you become free from that. Otherwise, in Varnashram system, you have to do Panch Mahayagya to become free from these 5 debts. So there is a debt to the Devas, Deva, Rishi, Devaran, then Rishiran to the sages, because they have done welfare to us, we have knowledge from them. Now we can get knowledge from internet, we don't feel obliged to anybody. But this system teaches you to feel obliged to others. So therefore we are obliged to sages who have given us knowledge, books, how to live, how to be happy. Then Bhuta, other living beings are also there. So we also survive, especially in the past. Human life depended on animals also, bulls for farming, cows for milk, for carrying. Then Apta is learned people, or Bhutapta can be just one. Nirnam, other human beings. So we also depend on other human beings, because in our daily life we use many things, clothes, pots, house, even food. So all these things we do not produce ourselves, others are producing, even if you pay money for it. But what money will do if nobody produces? Now Strait of Hormuz is blocked, you cannot get oil, you can keep your money. If oil is not available, then therefore there is a gratitude for other people also. And Nranam also means guests. And then Pitrinam, very important. So our forefathers, because we have their DNA, right? So we also depend on them. So he says that person who takes shelter of Mukunda, Saranyam Gato Mukundam, Saranam Saranyam Gato Mukundam, he says, Na king kari nayam rinicha rajan. That, O king, such a person, he is not indebted, he is not a servant of anyone. Why? Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Saranyam, who has taken shelter with full heart of Govinda, giving up all other responsibilities. Parihirtya karta. So this was also said earlier, where the example was given of tree, yatha taror mula nisechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujo pisakha. It's like you pour water at the root of the tree, so then all the branches, leaves, flowers, everything on the tree becomes nourished. So in the same way, Mukunda, Govinda, Bhagavan, Krishna, Vasudeva, he is the root, he is the source. Aham sarvasya prabha, matta sarvam pravartate. So if we worship him, then everyone gets worshipped naturally. That is the meaning. So this verse is little bit controversial for some people, because they think that it is not possible to give up your responsibility like that, or this debt, you have to do that also along with it. But Bhāgavatam is very clear, and Sri Krishna will also say later on, Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyate yavata mat katha shravanadava shraddha yavan jayate. So he will also say that the karma yoga has its jurisdiction as long as one does not have shraddha in bhakti, or one does not become dispassionate to material desires. So means its range is only to people who have material desires to fulfill. It applies to them. As earlier also the same sloka, karma mokshaya karmani vidhatte, that karma is prescribed to make you free from karma. Karma moksha. So that is the understanding of this verse. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Bhaktasya nitya naimittika shraddha tarpanadi yantrana rahityam aha. So he says that bhakta, a devotee, is free from the trouble. Yantrana means trouble of performing your regular duties, incidental duties, doing tarpana, shraddha for forefathers, daily offering of water to sun god. So he says that he is free from all that. Therefore the verse says Devarshi Apta. Sanrinam Pitrinam Aptaha Naraha Poshya Pitri Matri Bharyade. So he takes the meaning of the word Apta here as Poshya, means those who are to be maintained, parents, brother, wife, etc. Devadeya Pancha Yagya Devata. Deva, etc. they refer to the Panchayagya. So this is the Panchayagya. So Dev Yagya, Rishi Yagya. So there are yagyas for the Deva, te Deva bhaventu, parasparam bhaventa, shreya param vashyata. So Devan bhaveta. So you do yagya for Devas. For Rishis, you study Vedas, scriptures, then the debt is freed. For Pitris, Shraddha is there. For other living beings, Bhut Bali, offering food, etc. So these are the Panchayagya. Devata etesham karmi yatha rini atev tesham kinkarasya tadartham nityam panchayagya kartha tatha cha smriti. So he says karmi means one who is following the path of karma yoga. So he is indebted to them and therefore he is their servant. Just like in the olden times you take loan from somebody, then you work for that person to pay the debt. As long as your debt is there, you work. That's how you pay it. So therefore he says that he is a kinkara, he is a servant. And Rani, he is Rini, Devatesham kinkarasya tadartham nityam. So regularly he has to do this panchayagyas. Tathacha smriti, there is also smriti statement. Hina jati parikshinama Rinartham karma karyetiti. So here Hina jati means one who has taken the debt. It's called adhamarana. When you take debt, one is the giver, other is the person who is taking the money. So uttamarana, adhamarana. So one who has taken the loan, he has to work for the person who has given the loan. This is the meaning. Ayam tu na tatha. But this person is not so. So, which person is this? This person here means the devotee, one who has taken shelter of Mukunda. Ko asau ya sarva bhavena Sri Mukundam Sharanam Gata. Who is this person? Who has taken complete shelter. So sarva bhavena means you have to take shelter fully. Not that I take shelter only on Sundays or morning 2 hours. Some people also do that. Part shelter. Or some people offer some part of their body, that my left hand I donate to Bhagavan, so with left I will not do anything for myself. So they are different. So he says sarva bhavena. complete. Sharanam gata yatha prithvi patina swakinkarattvene grihitasya janasya mandale suradi anuvrittir na sambhavet. So he says that suppose there is an emperor and below emperor there are small kings. So if one becomes the servant of the emperor, then he does not have any allegiance or responsibility towards these small kings, because they are working under the emperor. These small kings are under the authority of the emperor. So these devas are also like that. They have some responsibilities, but they are not independent. So if someone takes shelter of Vishnu, then he is not obliged to perform yajna for all these people. Kartam varnashram vihitam karm tyaktva. So there is a word here, kartam. So this kartam is made from dhatu kri. So there are two, there is a kri and a kri. So kri dukriya karne and kri kartane. So therefore two meanings. So one is kartam means that kritya. Kartams varnashram vihit karma tyaktva. So he is taking the meaning where you cut it, means you give up. So parihritya kartam. Kartam means giving it up. And kartam bhedam tyaktva. Kartam also means bheda. So he says giving up the bhed buddhi. So means Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So then there is no need to worship different. Yatha taror mula nisechanena iti nyayana Vishnu pujane samvritte devarshadaya sadhu pujita eva. So just as he says you worship Vishnu, then it's like pouring water at the root. Or if you put food in your stomach, yatha pranopaharasya sarvendriyana. So then all the senses become nourished. You don't give food separately to the eyes, to the nose. You give food to the stomach. From there everybody is supplied. So in the same way worship Vishnu, who is the source. And then atayeva mat katha shravanadava shraddha yavanna jayate iti vadta bhagavata svabhaktasya karmadhikaro durikrita. So therefore he says that Krishna himself says that my devotee, he is not under the injunction of karma. So this is the meaning, that one becomes free from karma and one becomes devotee. Means he is not under the supervision of Yamaraj anymore. He is directly under the purview of Bhagavan. And thus he is not sent to hell or heaven or anything like that. So he is karma adhikaro durikrita. He is beyond the adhikar. His eligibility to perform karma has been destroyed. Or transcended. Then the next verse says Svapad Moolam Bhajatah Priyasya Tyaktan Bhavasya Harihi Pareshaha Vikarmayaccha Utpatitam Kathanchid Dhanoti Sarvam Hridisannivishtaha. So there is also the principle of prashchitta, that if you do not perform your prescribed duty, somehow, then you have to do atonement for that. Or if you do engage in some forbidden activity, then also you have to perform atonement. Otherwise you have to suffer for that. So he says that if my devotee somehow vikarma yaccha utpatitam kathanchit, that if somehow my devotee engages in some vikarma, means forbidden act, so he is not doing the prescribed duties, but he is engaging somehow in forbidden act. So this is double problem. Not doing what he is supposed to do and doing what he is not supposed to do. So then he will become implicated in karma. So for that he says that if this happens, then he does not have to do prayaschitta, because Bhagavan himself destroys this. Dhanoti sarvam hridi sannivishta. Bhagavan being present in the heart, he destroys the outcome of this vikarma. For whom? Swapad moolam bhajta priyasya. For his devotee who is dear to him and who is doing service to his foot, and tyakta anya bhavasya. But he has to be ananya bhakta, cannot have divided allegiance, that here also, there also. Then there will be problem, because both will remain confused. Is he my devotee or is he other person's devotee? So therefore he says that tyakta anya bhav. So anya bhav means any other devata. Otherwise many times devotees also ask that astrology says I should do this Sani puja or something to get rid of that. Right? Astrology prescribes that. Yes, Anuradha? So he says no. If you do that, that is anya bhava. So tyakta anya bhava means that no, exclusive devotion. So this is the problem. Like in the material world also we see that suppose wife is married or there is a girlfriend who has a boyfriend, and then she is also attracted to another man. So then there is a problem, right? Husband or the boyfriend will feel what is this? So he will get upset. So love wants exclusivity. It's not something like some democracy kind of thing. सब चलता है. So you need only one. So that is the meaning of takta bhava. This is the meaning of ananya bhakti or akinchana bhakti, shuddha bhakti, uttama bhakti. All these names, that's what it refers to. So because then only Bhagavan's attention is drawn towards you. So Draupadi, her sari was being pulled by Dushasana. So she was trying to hold on to it, because she is also a strong lady. But Dushasana was more strong, he was stronger than her. So then she realized, so finally she called for Krishna. So then only Krishna came. Before that also he knew. He said, okay, she is trying. Let her try. So then she tyaktanya bhava. So giving up, as earlier also said that sarvatmanaya sharanam saranyam. So this is important on the path of bhakti, that you need undivided devotion here. If our devotion is divided, people are devoted not only to some other devatas, you may be devoted to money, you may be devoted to something else, power, you may be devoted to disciples. And you can also be devotee of your disciples. So you have to be fully devoted to Bhagavan only. That you have to know this in your heart. You have to have that identity. Then only he becomes also attentive. Because he says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, tams tathaiva bhajamya. So if we are not like that, then he also is little wishy-washy. He doesn't pay attention. Because he has got many devoted followers, disciples. So if we want his attention, we have to show our attention very sincerely. Not that we are saying Hare Krishna, mind is wandering. Manva to chahu aur. So mind is wandering everywhere. Then he also sees, okay, his mind is wandering anywhere else, so he's also putting his mind somewhere else. So when Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, so in the daytime they used to go to him to listen and ask questions. But at night they came back. So then Bhishma is lying there alone and he has nothing else. So he was meditating on Krishna. So one morning Yudhishthira Maharaj, we used to always wait for Krishna to come. So Krishna did not come. So he wondered why he is getting so late. So he went to see him in his quarters. So when he went, then Krishna was sitting in meditation. He was very surprised. He said, everybody is meditating on him. On whom is he meditating? So after some time, Krishna opened his eyes and he saw Yudhishthira Maharaj. So immediately he bowed down to Yudhishthira Maharaj because Yudhishthira is senior. So he always respected him. And then he asked, what brings you here? He says, I was waiting for you. He says, oh, let's go. Then he asked, I have a question to ask you. He says, yes. He says, we all meditate on you, but you are meditating on whom are you meditating? So he says, oh, that old fellow. He says, which old fellow? He says, who is lying there? He is meditating on me, so I am meditating on him. So this is what it means, yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamya. So if we want Krishna's attention, then we also have to give our attention to him. And first we have to give. Not that he is going to give. He will give if we become fully devoted, then he will give his attention even if we are not giving. So that is different. So this is the meaning of tyaktanna bhavasya hari pravaya paresha. Vihit karma nivrittim uktva nishedha nimitta prayaschitta nivrittim aha. So after stating that a devotee who is fully surrendered to Bhagavan is free from prescribed duties, he describes now that he is also free from doing any atonement if he happens to engage in some forbidden activity. So this is speciality of bhakti. In bhakti there is no atonement. If you make a mistake, if you commit an offense, you will get whatever is supposed to get. You cannot. Otherwise this will become a habit. You do commit offense, then do prashchitta, and then again commit offense. So that does not work here. That works in the karma marga. So this is what is being also described. स्वपाद मूलमिति त्यक्तो अन्यस्मिन् देवतांतरे भाव सेव्य बुद्धिर्येन. So he says tyakta anyasmin devatantare bhava, that you give up your bhava in any other devata. What is the bhava here? Taktanya bhava. So it says sevya buddhi. So this mentality that he is my worshipable. So it does not mean that we do not respect devatas. We respect them. They are great people. They are also Vaishnavas. So they deserve all our respect. We should not criticize them, or we should not think that they are some useless people. But they are not our sevya. They are not our Ishta Devata. This buddhi we should not have. This kind of mentality we should not have. So tasya vikarmani pravrittir eva na bhavit. So first he says that such a devotee, why would he engage in forbidden activity if he is not doing prescribed activities which Veda is saying you should do? If he is not even doing those, why is he going to do something which is forbidden? So he says, no, he will not do that. It is by chance. If it so happens, like Krishna says, apichet suduracharo bhaste mamananya bhag. So therefore he says, kathanchit pramadadina utpatitam utpat rupena jatam. So it is by mistake, by inadvertence, unknowingly, if something happens like this. So that's why it says utpatitam. Means it just befalls on him, not that he plans to do it. Devotee will never plan to engage in some forbidden act. So tadapi harir dhunoti. So that also Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he destroys it or dispels the effect of that action. Nanu vikarmavati bhritye dandayanta eva prabhuvo drishyante iti harireva tam dandayanta. So now one doubt may be raised. He said generally it is seen that if a servant makes a mistake, then master punishes him. So if he is doing some forbidden act, then okay, the other devatas will not punish him, Yamaraj will not punish him, but maybe Krishna himself will give the punishment because he is doing something forbidden. So he says no, priyasya, because Krishna sees that his devotee is very affectionate. Na priyasya bhaktasya priyatvadeva adandyatvam. So because he is very dear, so he does not punish. So if you ask your employee or someone to bring a glass of water, he brings, and then he drops the glass and it breaks, or he brings some drink for you and he breaks, so you will be upset. But if same thing is done by your son or daughter, then you will not be upset like that. So this is the difference. So common people are not seen like that, so therefore they get punishment. But devotee is seen as one of his own, priyasya. So therefore he does not punish. Paresha iti etadeva tasya parameshwaram iti bhava. Therefore he is called Paresha. Means he is having this supreme authority. Aishwarya means authority. So he has the authority not to punish. No one can ask him, why are you not punishing this person? It's like the servant cannot ask you, why you did not punish your son when he broke the glass. When I broke the glass, you are angry at me. So he cannot ask like that. So that's why he is the Parameshwarya, the Bhava. Nanu nayam papakshayartham bhajte tatraha hridi sannivishta iti nahi vastu shakti arthitam apekshata iti bhava. So then he says that why does Bhagavan remove the sin of this forbidden act, he is not praying for it. Devotee is not praying to Bhagavan that make me free from my sin. So still why he does that? What is the reason? So then he says that because he is situated in the heart, and since he is situated in the heart of the devotee, the effect of sin cannot enter there. There is no sin which can come near him. So he says it's just like fire. So if you touch fire, it will burn. Not that you have to ask fire that please I am going to touch you, you should burn. No. So vastu shakti na arthitam apekshate. So because fire has the potency to burn, so it will burn whether you ask it to burn or not ask to burn, because the Shakti is there. So Bhagavan is all powerful. He is the most powerful. So no sin can come nearby, because all the devotee makes no prayer for removing the sins. So this was the reply by the sage Chamasa, and now all the sages have answered, 9 of them. The king asked question, 9 questions, they answered one by one. This story was being told by Sri Narada to Krishna's father, Vasudeva. If you remember, it is Narada who was in Dwarka, and Vasudeva asked him that what will happen, how can we become free from karma. So then he said, I am going to tell you a past history. And then he recited that how Navyogendras, they went to King Nimi's kingdom, who was engaged in doing some yajna. And then he received them and he asked questions. So in this way, Narada has answered Vasudeva's question by referring to this history. So now he speaks Narada Vachi. Dharman Bhāgavatam Nitham Srutvat Mithaleshwara Jayanteyan Munin Pritaha Sopadhyo He Pujayat. So the king of Mithila, Nimi was ruling in Mithila. So after hearing these Bhagavad dharmas, then he worshipped, he was very pleased and he worshipped the son of Jayanti, wife of Rishabdev, mother of Navyogendraj. He worshipped them along with their priests, Sopadhya. They were his priests were there because they were doing yajna. So if you remember in the beginning, he asked Bhāgavatam Bruta. The first question which he had asked was Dharman Bhāgavatam Bruta Yadina Shruti Akshanam. That please explain to me what are Bhagavad Dharma. So that's what he is referring here. Dharman Bhāgavatam Nitham Srutva. After hearing this Bhagavad Dharma, he was pleased. So there is not much commentary. Jayanteyan, Jayanteha, Putran. So Jayanteyan means son of Jayanti, wife of Rishabdev. Tato antardadhire siddhaha sarvalokasya pashyataha raja dharmanupatishtham navapa paramam gatim. After they were worshipped, then these perfected Navyogendras, they became invisible right there in front of everyone. Everybody was looking at them and then suddenly they disappeared. Nobody saw them walking away. So te tato antardadhire siddha. And then the king who has heard this instruction of Bhagavad Dharma, he practiced them. Tato dharman upatishtan. And he attained the supreme destination. So this is also important. He is a good student. He asks questions not just for the sake of question, but he asked them because he wanted to follow them. He did not ask some irrelevant things. So he practiced the Bhagavad Dharma and attained the ultimate destination, Paramam Gatim. No commentary on this. Tvamapi etan mahabhaga dharman bhagavatan shrutan astita shraddhaya bhakto nissango yasya se param. So now Sri Narada Rishi is directly addressing Vasudeva. क्या हुआ?
Babaji, you have Shraddhaya Bhakto?
श्रद्धा युक्तो.
Okay.
So he says that, O Mahabhaga, that is referring to Vasudeva, that greatly fortunate one, you also engage in these Bhagavad dharmas which you have heard and engage in them with Shraddha, Shraddha Yukta. And if you practice them with Shraddha, then you will become free from Nissanga and Yasya Se Param, you will attain the supreme destination. Sri Vasudevasya Nitya Siddha Bhagavad Pitri Bhavasya api Bhagavataha eva Nitya Murtairapi Bhagavatichhaiva Bhakti Rasotkantha Nivagnasya Swasmin Prakit Naratva Abhimanam Alakshya Tam Prakit Naram eva Upadesha Bhagya Slaghadi Bhiranandayati Tvamiti Tvamapi iti Shadabhi Param Parameshwaram Prapsasi. So now the question is that why he is saying that he will become free from attachment and he will attain destination. He is Krishna's father, he is a Nitya Parikara. So therefore he explains. He says Vasudeva, he is a Nitya Siddha Parikara. He is eternally Bhagavan's father, Bhagavat Pritri Bhavasya, and he has that bhav, that identity that I am Krishna's father. Bhagavataiva Nitya Murte, and therefore his body is eternal. His body is not material. His body is spiritual. So there is no question of any impurity or materialism in that. But still, he says Bhagavad Ichhaya eva Bhakti Rasotkantha Nivagnas. But it was by the will of Bhagavan to make him more eager for bhakti. So this is the characteristic of Bhagavan, that he keeps on increasing their eagerness for love or devotion. And this is how bhakti never becomes stale. Otherwise, after some time you feel bored doing same thing again and again. So their eagerness keeps on increasing. So then you want to do it more and more and more. You don't become satiated by bhakti. So he says this is will of Bhagavan, so that he remains absorbed in this eagerness for bhakti rasa. Swasmin prakit naratva abhimanam alakshya. So he made Vasudeva to think that he is like a material person. Like material people ask question, like that he was asking. Tam prakrit naramiva upadesh bhagya slagadi. So then Narada is also treating him like that and giving him instruction. And he is then praising his great fortune, that you are so great, your son is Krishna, no problem. Like that he gives him praise. So Param Parameshwaram Prapsasi. Says you will attain Parameshwara. युवयो खलु दंपत्योर यस्या पूरितं जगत पुत्रतामगमद यद्वाम भगवान ईश्वरो हरिः. So he is praising him. He says, you, both you and Devaki, your fame has spread all over the universe. Why? Because Bhagwan, Ishvara, Hari, Krishna, he has become your son. So he says, you are very, very fortunate. You are so great that Bhagwan is your son. Putratamagamat. Darshanalinganaalapai शयनासन भोजनैः आत्मा वा पावितं कृष्णे पुत्र स्नेहम प्रकुर्वतः. So he says your personality, your being has been purified because you have affection to Krishna as your son. Krishna putra sneham. And you are seeing him, you are embracing him, you are talking to him, you are putting him to sleep, you are sitting with him, eating with him. So you are doing all these activities with him, he being your son. So you have no more attachment to this material world, you are completely free, you are very pure. So then he is going to speak more. We'll read that tomorrow if there is any question on this. Bhushan.
Babaji Pranams, I have a question on Anya Bhav. I was wondering if this also applies to Sri Guru. For example, the instructions by the Guru should be the only instruction which a disciple should receive. If the Anya Bhav could be receiving instructions from social media, family, or past samskaras which are in opposition or deviation to what the Guru is teaching. And would that also be counted as Anya Bhav?
Yes, Anya Bhav means obviously when you accept Guru, then you accept him that you will follow his instruction for your own benefit. It's not that Guru is benefiting if you follow. So why you accept Guru? Because you need instruction how to continue on this path. So then we follow that. Now if you follow this, follow that, then it's like you are going somewhere and you ask someone to give you instruction and you trust that person. So you follow that, whatever guideline he gives, you go 2 kilometers, then take a left. Then you go another 10 kilometers, you will see some petrol pump. Take a right there. But if you start taking instruction from too many people, then probably you will rotate around there only. Purushottam Prabhu.
And later part of Anvaya for verse number 45, would it be like Nisanga Astita Sraddhaya Yukto Param Yasase?
No.
No?
Astita is previously. Dharman Bhāgavatam Shrutva Astitaha.
Okay. And then Nisanga Sraddhaya Yukto Param Yasase?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
It's also given in the book. If you have the commentary, it says Mahabhāga Tvamapi Shrutan Bhagwan Bhagavatan Etan Dharman Astita Shraddhya Yukta Nisanga Param Yasase. So Astita is going along with Dharman. Okay.
इस धर्म में स्थित होकर
Srutvaya becoming situated in that.
महाभागत त्वम अपि श्रुतान, आपने जो ये श्रुतान भागवतान एतान धर्मान, ये भागवत धर्म को जो सुना है उस धर्म
सुनकर उनमें स्थित हो जाओ, आस्थिता, उनको सुनकर.
और ओके, एंड श्रद्धया युक्त. ओके.
Babaji, we have two questions on chat. Leela Rani ji asks, Babaji Radhe, regarding Draupadi, I recently heard that the point of the story is that Krishna wants to see that first we are making an effort ourselves before running to him. Is this so?
Yeah, that is also there. If we are making effort, and then we don't need to trouble him.
The next question she asks, how do we understand what you said about Krishna Bhaktas not getting punished for forbidden activities? Do we understand that this refers to an isolated lapse or mistake, or that even continued engagement in sinful acts is not punished? Otherwise, it seems like a license for bhakti practitioners to commit sins.
Yeah, this is good question. The verse itself is very clear on that. It says, Vikarma yacha utpatitam kathanchit. So word which is used is kathanchit, means somehow or other, which means because of not being aware unknowingly. It is not something which you are doing willingly, knowingly. That will become an offense. That is not, so it's not a license for engaging in immoral activities. Therefore, in the commentary, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he said that Bhakta will not engage in Nisiddha karma. I also said that he is not doing even what he is supposed to do. So why would he do something which he is not supposed to do? You understand the difference? He is not even doing that which he must do ordinarily. So why would he do something which he should not do? So therefore it is not licensed to engage like that. Okay. Haze.
Babaji. This is just from last week. How is it that Pita is the color of the Yuga avatar? Sorry, for Kali Yuga.
So this was discussed in the class. This is not mentioned here, but these verses, as he said, that three things is combined. So one statement he took what Prahlad Maharaj said, that Chinna Triyugam Abhavam Sattvam, that you appear in Triyuga openly and in Kali Yuga hidden. That is one point. Then other statement is of Gargacharya. So where he said that Sukla, what was that? Rakta, Shukla Raktas Tathapita, Idanim Krishna Tam Gata. So there 4 colors are mentioned. So Shukla in Satyuga, Rakta in Treta, Krishna in Dwapar, and then Pita is by Parises, means by remainder, it is only Kali Yuga. So that's second statement, and then this statement here, where he explained that Nana Tantra Vidhanine Kalau Api Tathashunu. So there the meaning of Tantra, one meaning was straightforward meaning that according to Tantra. And then Tantra, as I explained, also means like a pun, where one word has 2 meanings. So other meaning is more explicit, but then there is a hidden meaning. So that hidden meaning is that this is the Pita avatar, because he says Krishna Varnam Tusha Akrishnam, that he will speak about Krishna, but his color is not Krishna. So not Krishna here implies to Pita, because other 3 are already fixed in the 3 yugas. So therefore it is Pita.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.